Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here. Look, I took some notes, some things I want to discuss with you. But before I do that, there's something I want to share with you. As spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, that's a title that I accepted. That's a title that I fed to myself based upon what my understanding and my role in life is all about. It's not a representation of any organization. It is not a representation of government or religion. It's just me, me. And I've lived long, ladies and gentlemen. I'm finding out a lot of times that there are young people that's dying, but still, old folk are as well. Usually they're around 84 or somewhere between 60 something. But me, I've been here in between there. But I've been more than just here. I've studied to be a social scientist, to be sort of familiar with the conduct of people in times past, present, to get some idea of what the future prospect is possibly like. But that's not all. It wasn't just restricted to our social order or people here on this earth, but it has been spiritual as well. I've studied the religions of many nations. I don't claim to recall what they were all about, but I do know something that was common amongst them all. They all failed to meet the concerns of the masses. They all failed to meet the concerns of what I call God and the purpose for which God created them. So that I know exists. There's no question about that. On the other hand, that includes my nation. That includes where I live here in America. That includes, yes, democracy. It includes capitalism as well as anything else, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sharing with you what I have learned. When it comes down to speaking truth, I just gave you an impression. But here in the United States of America, we had some common acceptance of what truth was about. Well, people always lie, but we still knew they were lying, and we didn't hide the fact that they were lying. But some evil got attached to some people in America that came along and started saying that the lie was not a lie, it was just a different expression of truth. In other words, a lie was just as good as any truth. And that means that this nation had changed. What brought us to this point is everything that has been going on since the beginning of time. Nothing outstanding, the same old steps, step in tune. Sometimes we might have slowed down, sometimes we might have sped up, but it brought us here. My point, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Out of Catholicism, out of what we call the Protestantism, what do we call freelance, all of it, Baptist, Methodist, they all fall short. And I know that. I think you might know that, but it might not matter to you because you don't know that. But because I know that, I can't walk according to the dictates of others whose ideology in relationship to life does not produce the kind of life that I'd like to be associated with. I am to be associated with peace and prosperity and freedom and joy and happiness and to live my dreams. I want and must have my needs, my wants, and my desires met. Why? Because the creator of this made it possible for that to exist by creating an earth for me to sit out here in the sun, on this ground, and you, wherever you are, with whatever dreams and aspirations that we have. And that same power made sure that the resources that we would need to do anything that we've ever done, are doing, and will do is already here. That's a power, my friends, that you couldn't have made sure that that happened. I couldn't have made sure that happened. But me, I know for a fact that there's a power that made sure that things like that happen that you and I cannot. And it is because I know that white people are not God. It is because I know that black people are not God. because I know that men and women neither are gods. All I do know, ladies and gentlemen, that is a God somewhere, someplace, and that God has order. The same order that allows these trees, my friends, to go in season and out of season, to do what they're supposed to do, the rivers to do what they're supposed to do, the grass to do what it's supposed to do, and everything's supposed to do what it's supposed to do except those that got choice. And they go against their creator because they're supposedly smarter than God. Now, for me, that is no reason for me to follow Christianity. If Christianity can't do what God wants, I'm not interested. That's no reason for me to follow Catholicism. If Catholicism can't do what God wants, why should I follow it? In fact, to make a long story short, if you, the American people, or the people of earth, can't do what God wants, why should I follow you? Now, look, I'm not stupid. We all make mistakes. We've all blown it. And we are probably going to keep on doing it. But there's something that's called love that allows us to tweak this thing and to make this thing right. And for me, that's what I want. I don't want any pain and suffering out here. I can't put up with it. Call myself knowing God. Pain and suffering, homelessness, can't get education, can't get health care. I'm calling myself a child of God. No, you can put up with that because you bullshitting, not me. I can't put up with it. Right now, the only thing I can do about it is stand up and tell you that God made it possible for everybody would never have to suffer for. Well, you say, well, if you don't smoke, you won't get cancer. But there, my friends, you'll get something. If you're doing just walking, you'll get something. And even if you didn't, that would be fine. God made it possible so that if you did. So for me, the love that God has shown me is the love that I would like to see all people on earth experience. And if you're not sharing the same kind of love that reaches out and touches people and is designed to meet people all over there, just like the love that God has shown me, you can go on back in the corner somewhere because I ain't listening to that. Now, what I had scheduled to talk to you about is this. You know, all the things that's happening. I wanted to ask the people, how do you like Donald Trump? Now, you know, the people of this country told you all the things that you could possibly needed to know about Donald Trump. And for those of you who didn't used to know that thing about Donald Trump, since the time he came on the scene in 2015, I believe that was, up until now, hey, that guy, the whole world knows who he is. They knows he's exactly what he is. And they are thinking that they had America judged to say that we were okay. They did not think it was possible for Donald Trump to get back in office again. They thought it was possible for him to trick you first time, but they didn't think it was possible for you to be tricked twice. And you were. You had a golden goose compared to Donald Trump, but you turned it down for Donald Trump. So I'd like to ask you, how do you like Trump? Now, it's your decision. Don't get upset with me for asking you that. Don't get upset at anybody asking you that because you did it. And it's causing us pain. And we got a right to ask you, how do you like it now? Because you're feeling some of it too. Sorry. And then think about all the people in this country, America. Said a lot of important people in America. Now, I don't have to try to identify what being important is because I'm sure most Americans got some idea of what being important is. You do, don't you? The question is, how does your being important feel today when we're going through what we're going through? Now, many of you say, you don't know what brought us here. You thought you were so good. You don't know what brought you here. You'll tell your friends. This is what you'll say at the kitchen table. This is what you'll say standing up there to get you some water. These kinds of things. But you will not tell them the truth. You see, if you want to know the truth, what brought America to the point that she is in right now, the number one thing is that she denied God. She talked God, she professed God, but the action of God was far, far away. You know, the thing that brought us here is hate. Hatred brought us to today. Yes, racism brought us to today. Ain't that something? It's always been here. Everybody knew it was wrong. The people who were experiencing, they knew it was wrong. You knew it was wrong. Those of you who benefited from it. But it was okay. It didn't cause you pain. It was okay. So you put up with it. It was okay. Those who had it whipped on them and beat down on them didn't know what to do. They didn't know any recourse. The only thing they could see was to stand up and die, because that's what happens when you stand up, and they don't know God well enough to just die right now. So we've been going through what we've been going through, and it brought us here today. That wasn't all. Bigotry brought us here. Deception brought us here. Lies, crime, and violence. It brought us here. But America still have a chance to change. And when is that chance? That chance is right now. I can't say after a while. No, I can't put it off till tomorrow. I don't know. But one thing I do know for a fact, that you got a chance to change right now. Or since that I was put to you that way, let me ask you another way. What about just ending the world right now? Everybody die. Would that be okay? Would that be better? Let me check this camera. Well, it's still working. Those of you who use your cameras, your phone cameras, you know it can get hot. Once they get hot, they just want to turn down. Now, I got a note, another note here I want to mention. It says, who's crazier than Trump or Americans? Who's the craziest, should I say? Trump or Americans? Some might say Trump. Some say Americans. I used to say Americans. I used to say Trump. But the truth of the matter is, they are one and the same. So if I was walking around and I saw Trump, I just might want to ask Trump, how do you look now, Trump? How do you like yourself? How smart are you? Really, we know you. We've heard you talk, but we've watched you. How much of a genius are you? You want us to think that you are. Are you still the smartest man on earth? I was thinking, the way the things are going, Trump is not just bringing down America. He seems to be affecting the world, the entire human population. And I was asking myself, if these few people can bring down these nations and the masses of people in these nations accept that rather than fix it, then what are the people supposed to do? It appears to me that whatever their condition is, they can stretch out to make it better. If you got homes, you don't pay any mortgage. Stop. You got rent apartments, you don't pay any rent. Your food is spare, you walk to the store and grab you, or drive and grab you some food and stuff and come on back home. Don't pay any money. You don't have any. The the systems that set up by people have robbed you and now put you in a position such as this, and expect you to act like you got some restraint, expect you to act like you got some sense when you know darn well you are here because you didn't have any sense. No. And so when you think about stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen, because that can happen. That can happen. Tomorrow you can be just like the poverty in Haiti could be right here. And wherever violence is, that people are struggling, trying to survive, trying to get something on the table, it could be right here tomorrow because of stuff that have festered here, that is nurtured in the womb of America since its inception. Hatred, racism, and bigotry, and lying and deception. Well, the secret of it is, for me, I will not be ruled by that. You are being ruled by that today. Following the systems. I'm not going to tell you to not follow the system. That'll be a decision you got to make. But if you don't follow the system, what are you going to replace it with? Are you going to replace it with ugliness that makes what they do now look good? No, baby. You got to be willing to suffer if you must. You must be willing to show what love is, because love is not being seen, has not been seen here in America in the sense that God wants it to be seen. You got to be willing, when you are, to lay your life down gladly, just like Jesus, if you believe in Jesus. If you don't, still, just like the story goes. Or if I can tell you, like Gandhi. You lay your life down like Gandhi. I can tell you, lay your life down Malcolm X. Lay your life down like Dr. King. Lay your life down like Medgar Evers. Lay your life down like those many white people that got caught up in this stuff and died for the cause just like the rest of us. But I don't know their names. But just like they were willing to stand up to make sure that we even, in all this hell, we made it to this point. They enabled us the ability to make it to this point. With all the stuff that's coming down that destroys, those who gave their lives, were able to hold us up to this point. And now here we are in the crosshairs. And time is looking for us to make a decision. Time is looking for us to make a decision. Are we going to go on this road of bull that Trump is, and and those and that side of life? I don't want to cuss them. Are you going to submit to that, or can you submit? I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking, can you commit to a life where you can be you, where you can engage that which you love, that will give you your greatest joy and allow you to participate in creating and causing a manifestation in the reservoir of goods and services in such an abundance that no human being ever should be denied anything that they desire, need, or want, that's made by the hands of men in partnership with the invisible power of God. Hey, you can't beat that. Y'all can go sit down. Because if you can't see God in this, if you can't see love in this, if you can't see freedom in this, you need some help. So next time, Eddie Marcus say goodbye for now.